Good morning, legends. We have had a morning. We've had a proper morning. Cannot complain too much about that, hey? All right, let's move it up to this other fish. See if we can get him from behind. He's also scared of it. I think I hit him with the line. Oh, yes. So I wanted to do this video for a little while. I am pretty excited about it, actually. I'm talking about forward-facing sonar. So it's a Saturday morning. The boat ramp is packed here in the US. There are bass boats and bass trackers and boats absolutely everywhere. There's families off on the shoreline, but everyone is right now sticking at the edges. And we're going to talk about forward-facing sonar and how I've this morning just been having a good morning. I've been calling some shots. There is a heap of pressure on the edges. Fish are seeing a lot of baits. Where they're not seeing baits though is just offshore on those first steps off, where there's still structure, where there's still weed. My methodology has completely changed in fishing, and I'm going to talk about that. I'm not fishing structure anymore. I'm actually fishing fish. I'm fishing individual fish. Structure might take me somewhere, but I am definitely fishing fish. A real takeaway for you is that none of this is rocket science. Whether you're in a kayak, whether you're in a boat, this is not hard technology. Realistically, in no more than 5, I would say, outings using forward-facing sonar, you'll be a pro. Right, so here comes the juice. Now, the video is split into 2 sections, if you like. The first section talks about some really basic theory and some terms that I'll be using in the second section, which is just a fishing session that took about 25 minutes to film, but it's been cut down into about 10 minutes for you. Now look, there's a giant amount of information in this video that works for me, and hey, if you want to support the channel, it'd be really greatly appreciated if you click those buttons below. Really does help the channel grow. We're trying to get to 20,000 subscribers, so if you could be a part of that, that'd be great. Let's get back into it. Alrighty, let's get into the juice. So, on the screen recording in front of you, you can't see the range lines, unfortunately. It doesn't pop out when I screen record, but I'm seeing 100 foot, so 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. I'm seeing down to 15.5 foot right now. And you'll notice the shot is like on an angle, angle that way. That is not, that is because of the way I've got it set up, and I'll talk about that juice in a sec. But the first thing that we want to understand is we want to be able to present the bait. That fish there is at 30 feet. 30 feet for me is 1.5 boat lengths. And that is a really easy way, I'd probably say, to firstly understand where to throw the bait, right? So it's no good if you can't get the bait to the fish that you're going to see on these units using the settings that I'll talk about. But from my perspective, my boat is 21, just short of 21 foot. So when I stand here and I look at the back, I'm like, okay, that's 20 feet away. You know, a Hobie kayak is 12 to 14-ish. So that's tip number 1, using the range lines on the sounder and using another form of reference to deliver the bait and present it to the fish that you're actually targeting. I usually present the lure as a general habit, just slightly past the fish and then work it back through the fish. Depending on the direction it's facing. To tell which direction it's facing, you can find a fish and then the returns will get stronger and weaker as you move that head left and right. Now, if you move it left and it gets stronger and then weak again, and then you move it left again, it gets stronger and weak, that means the fish is moving right to left relative to you. You're basically looking at a weak versus a strong return. Now, the beam that you are sending out is going to be sent out like this, and the shot and the image that you need to work out, and it's really not difficult to figure out, but if the fish is like this, it's like a battleship. It's giving you a big broadside image that is strong, it's bright, right? You might even be able to tell the detail and the shape of the fish, but it'll be a brighter. What I'm looking for when a bait comes past is I want that shape to change. That shape will change as it follows the bait. If the shape doesn't change, well then I really had no reaction on that fish. So I might try a different bait, and that's one of the things that will clue me into cycling. The other is cycling through baits. But what it'll do, that beam is shooting out at you, you're getting a really nice image. Let's say the bait comes past it, that fish will change shape. It will technically return less. And that's because it is now narrowed up in the same direction as the beam. So all that's showing or being exposed to the beam now is its face and its slender body. It's now streamlined as opposed to broadside. So if you're looking at a shot of a fish and you're getting a really nice image, your bait goes past and it disappears, that is a good thing. That is like radar theory / sonar theory 101. Just understanding the beam is really important, whether it is in those scout modes or the vertical modes that you do see us using, that you can use. It's just important to understand how fish image changes. It ain't hard. That is, I guess, tip number 2 of the juice. The third tip is probably, I reckon it's the biggest one, right? I reckon, no doubt, it's the biggest one. I don't want to spend 5 to 10 seconds finding my lure after I've thrown in. I want to know whether or not I've actually hit the beam that I'm trying to scope and thus hit the fish that I'm trying to catch. It's kind of like tying in or synchronizing your lure with the beam, and I really want, as a result, I really want that beam that I'm sending out to capture the surface. So I've done a couple of hacks. First one is the angle offset in the advanced settings, and the second one is actually clicking the transducer on my mounted pole up. 2 clicks for me. I've heard of guys doing 1 click. I've also heard of a guy doing 3 clicks, which is too much for me, but it depends on the angle of the pole or whatever you're mounting it on. But you want to make sure that the beam that you're sending out actually shoots slightly up so that you get the top of the water column. Now, if you have a look at my transducer image right now, you can see it's angled down. It looks like it's slowly getting deeper. It is not. That is basically me shooting up so that I can see the surface of the water. The reason I want to see the surface of the water is twofold. One, I want to know if there's fish on there, right? A lot of the time on the default settings, I was finding that, particularly in this option called stable view, which I turn off, it does cut the top of the water column off. So I don't get to see if there are fish sitting just subsurface, particularly if I want to throw a surface bait. Secondly, I want to see my splash of the lure. I can't underestimate how much that changed my active target to forward-facing sonar experience, seeing the splash, because that splash tells me straight away whether or not I have placed my lure in the beam of the transducer and thus looking at the fish. Now, the splash of the lure does come up in, now this is like a 2.5 inch bait that I'm throwing, and I'm going to throw this at about 3 boat lengths. It's probably a little bit far, but you could see the splash there. So all of a sudden, I know that my bait is actually aligned with the fish that I'm looking at. And if it's not, I just wind it straight back in, reorientate myself and go again. I do find it really hard to hit fish that are more than about 90 degrees off. It just becomes pretty difficult to kind of like imagine where the transducer is pointing. Is it over there or over there? Usually in that first kind of 60 degrees, maybe that first 100 degrees off the boat, that is usually my working area. The way that you set this up for your own boat, understanding that every boat and pole that you have mounted is different. I went up to a wharf, I got some sort of vertical structure that was aligned with some sort of horizontal structure, and I sat there and I just clicked and mucked around with those settings until I got a really nice image that I'm happy with. Oh, you know, the closer I look at this fish, the more it kind of looks like some sort of gar. Yeah, look how long it is. Yeah, it is. Oh yeah, big head shake. So it's one of those alligator gar with a giant spiky nose. I actually caught one yesterday. Have a look at this footage. Oh, look at that. Prehistoric. Look at that thing. That deserves to be in a Bass Pro shop. Look at it. It's just giant. Right, so I'm not sure how to say this in any other way, but forward-facing sonar does not catch you more fish per se. It lets you have real-time access to information on what the fish is doing and how it's reacting to your bait. And that means you as an angler are able to cycle through your lures and go through what you need to much faster so that you can catch more fish and you can get that bait out, that winning bait out much faster. So this spot here, as I put record on, is just a bit of a community hole. All right, so we're not quite ready to fish yet, but you can see So I've got some shad by the looks of things. Looks like I've also got some returns. I'm looking at those returns at about 40 feet right now, middle of the screen. Looks like I've got some shad or some spawn going on there with some thicker returns. They're not big enough to be bass, those ones. That one at 60 feet, that one on top though is. And you can see some tail and fin separation, which is really good. That means that like the fish is probably facing the other direction. I can see that tail wagging in the water on it. Might be something larger as well. As we get closer, almost looks 2 foot long. So it could be like an alligator gar, or probably not a carp, I'd say, but 60 foot away. And I'm just scanning left and right at the moment just to see what else is going on. And you'll see that splash there. That's my bait. And I've started with a giant bait. Thrown let's see if this thing will eat it. Here we go. It's around the corner. It's not ideally lined up. The cast wasn't that great. Now I've got a few different boats around us. This place that I am fishing is a bit of a community hole, like I mentioned. Here we go. There's a couple of fish looking at it. Go after it, mate. Come on, buddy. Right, so I would typically say that this shad, this white bait that I'm using, is probably too big for the fish. I'm not really getting huge, big reaction bite off it. So, and that's 2 casts. I'm moving on. I'm gonna throw a little spike that I've got on here, partly because, again, the end of that shad spawn that I was talking about before, sitting on top of the fish. Again, 2 kind of casts here, and those fish aren't really interested in that. So this is a robo worm. Right, I don't think they want the drop shot. Now we're gonna go to the minnow. Eat the thing. Yep. There we go. Little guy. Look at that. Here we go. Fish at about 60 feet out. Now I don't know if he's moving left. I said no return left. A little bit stronger return if I move right. So he's moving probably left to right, although, yeah, left to right in front of me, 50 feet. That is way too short. Actually, it was okay. Oh, look, turned away from it. Probably scared him on the top a little, I think. But he's now nosing it. Interesting. So he went away and then came back a couple times. All right, let's move it up to this other fish. See if we can get him from behind. He's also scared of it. I think I hit him with the line. Oh, yes. So I hit him with the line initially, and he's gone away from it. And then, oh, nicer fish. I'm gonna get this mic worked out. Hit him with the line initially, went away from it, and then the bait, he woke up to the bait. So he's a nice, I'll probably land him from the front, but I gotta lean over. There we go, look at him. You cannot complain too much about that, hey? Cannot complain one bit. Just the minnow in the mouth, top of the mouth there, just popped out. Good fish. Good times. But you just become fishing normally. All right, so there's a fish here. We've got another one moving along the top. Let's see, scan left. Scan a little run. He looks like he's going right to left. 40 feet, 2 boat lengths. So if I can put that in front of him. There we go. Yep. Got him again. Another 3.5 pounder maybe. Definitely scooping him. Look at the frame on the guy. Look at that frame. Oh, golly, 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 look at that. 16 minutes, maybe 17. Oh, golly. Now those fish are gonna heat up, so I've got to turn that recirc pump on basically. And that feedback's pretty instant. So I got a fish there at 40. Come on, eat it. You ain't even interested in it. Look at that. Right next to his face. Look at, maybe something's off on the bait. I'm not sure if I reseated the bait. Reseated? Or have they decided? Yeah, look at that. Look at the bait. Unnatural. Kind of called it in there, right? Like you just see that fish aren't stationary. Down in them. No, let's come back up to the top. See if they want it. Yep. It's a much softer bite, that one. Right, and come on, buddy. With that, we have a 5 bag of fish, so all between 2 and 3.5. There was that one squeaker in there that's probably a pound. That'd be a pound and a half maybe. So, forward facing sonar, hey? Look at that guy. 60 feet. He hasn't seen it. And he's moving, is he moving left? No. Looks like he's moving right. Okay. Swimming left to right on the beam. There's my, he's soft because he's not in there yet. In the beam, he's coming off around to it. Come on. There you go. How good. Right. How freaking good is this? just a day for it. All right, go down. Not as big. 1 pound. Oh, maybe I'm shorting myself a little bit. Nah, there's another one about the same size. All just transiting this bank area. How good is that? You get a bit of a group at 20. Looks like small. I'm not getting the greatest shape off them though, honestly. Let's come back for it. Yep. Nice fish. So, I'm going to admit something. Nah, I'm not. Nah, I will. So this is the second day of trying to film this video. I had some real audio screen record issues with the active target, so I had to come back out. And I caught him like this at another spot on another lake, and I was really worried that I wouldn't be able to do it again. Got this one down its gob. Seven fish in 30 minutes. Kind of a nice, respectable bag. If you're in a tournament, you really now want to go after that 8-9 pounder. We're going to move away here so the family behind us can hit some and catch some fish. But we'll do some talking over there. I'm about to move. You can have the spot. You're all right, man. All right, legends, I am about done. I'm tired. I only got 4 hours sleep last night. I was working and flying, jumped in the bed, got a quick sleep, and then did this content for you guys. So if you appreciate it, throw us some love. You know the buttons to hit below. Big picture, forward-facing sonar, in my opinion, for me, it just helps me identify what the fish are doing quickly and whether or not they're interested in what I am presenting to them. But step one is to get your equipment right so that you can sync your arm and your bait up with the beam that you are sending out, the radar, the sonar image, the active target, the live scope, whatever your flavor. Like I said earlier today, we're now fishing the fish. We're not fishing structure anymore. Hope you enjoyed the video. Stay safe. I'll see you next time. Long road for the road dogs, put the wind miles from a soapbox. Got BKTs on this bitch, so everybody getting rolled on, yeah. Yeah, everybody getting rolled on. Check all this credits on BMI. I'm just too kind to expose y'all. And I see a team with the go sign and question if y'all ever wrote songs. All enemies of mine, a band study. Please don't test me, I'm a know-it-all. Got platinum songs in the vault collecting dust. If we talk about showing up.